Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark. I want a French mom Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jay, Toilet Desert Cluet, welcoming you aboard Deep Blue Sea the podcast. On this show, we've been through the entire Deep Blue Sea trilogy scene by scene. Now looking at Deep Blue Sea adjacent films. That's films directed by Rennie Harden featuring sharks or aquatic action, or as is the case with this week's film, aquatic action that disappears and it becomes action where aquatic should be. As today we're talking about a very new film. It's not even out yet. We got an advanced screen link for it. For Survive. What is Survive? Well, it's a 2024 survival film, I guess. It's mostly French. Directed by Frédéric Jardin. Starring Émilie Dequenne, Andreas Pietschmann, Lisa Delamar, Lucas Abel. Oh, I didn't practice this one. Arben Badrakraj. Apologies. And Olivier Ho Xiaohen. This film sees a family of four, mother, father, two kids, out on a boating trip to celebrate the son's birthday. When there's strange occurrences happen. There's like things falling from the sky. There's currents they can't get out of. They're stranded. And then the ocean just up and disappears. And they're stranded at the bottom of what used to be the sea, trying to get out, get home, get safe. And hilarity ensues. So, Mark, was this film on your radar at all? Had you heard of this, about this?
No,
me neither.
We had something else planned. Then you heard about this, so you're like, Mark, let's watch this. And so I watched it, and I was like, this is great.
Yeah,
I knew nothing. And you know what's crazy? Like, this is a good cast. Like Emile, like she's great. She's in a movie called Close. She's in Brotherhood of the Wolf. Like, it's a really good cast, good actors, and it's crazy. And all right. So typically at the end of every episode, you do like how deep and how blue it is. Like, I want to know how deep this movie is. I want to know what you like, because every episode we end with that, and I just want to know what you came up with here.
So I basically took it as though the sea was still there. I took it as wherever sea level would have been. So for the majority of this film, they're pretty deep.
Yeah,
because this it takes place off the coast of Puerto Rico. They're in the Caribbean Sea. They say at one point they're about 5 miles from Cuba, I think. So I was like looking, what is the average sea depth around there? And I took it as that's the depth they were at, which I think was like 2,200 meters or something. It's like a pretty long way. So yeah, depth-wise, this is in our top 10 deepest films. This is deeper than the abyss.
this is deep.
This is pretty deep. Not very blue, but pretty deep because all the blue disappears.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where you just have to like give yourself up to it, because you would drive yourself crazy, be like, oh, the floor's not wet and there's no greenage and like there's no deadfall, and like you would drive yourself nuts. So if you're gonna watch this movie, just like embrace it. Just embrace how everything goes badly in this movie. Like this is
I mean, the premise, they try to work out like, okay, what's happened here? I reckon because they get in touch with a research submersible, and they're like, yeah, the poles have reversed. That means that the ocean is now where the land was. And you're like, if you think about that for 3 seconds, you're like, no, I don't know, no. But you don't think about that.
Don't think. Don't think. No thinking.
You can't.
You will wreck your experience of this movie. And everyone's working hard in this film. Like this is okay. Spoilers, right? Like we gotta spoil.
Well, hang on. Okay,
correct?
so let's say watch this film. Check this film out. This film was a good time. Like go in with the whole like this isn't a real film. This isn't realistic. Fine, just go in and it's a fun. It becomes a bit of a creature feature later on. So there's that Deep Blue Sea aspect as well. But yeah, this is a Deep Blue Sea. The podcast recommends watching Survive. From this point on, spoilers.
It's 85 minutes without credits, and even the family. I like the family. I like Cassie. I like Ben. I like Tom. I like Julia.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom's a little naive, but I mean, listen, the harpoon guy. You're never gonna buy. They're a nice family.
And they do have real like friendly neighbors come over with a cup of sugar energy at that moment when you think you should be more wary of what's happening right now. But you know, they're the ideal parents to have with you when you're stranded in the ocean, whether it's there or not, because it's a doctor and an oceanographer. That's the perfect kind of parents that, yeah, that's ideal. That's ideal.
And the mom's a murderer. Mom will kill people. Julia will kill people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And it's this movie. And you know what I love too? The ocean's been gone in this one particular area for a day, right? It was just not long. But it's become like everyone's had this like survival of their own. Like I'm just gonna kill, like, it's, I love it. I love that the harpoon guy immediately was like, I'm going Mad Max. Like, I've
well,
gone full Mad Max.
for all we know, he was already that way. Maybe this is just he's just always been. This is like some kind of ocean-based serial killer. The ocean disappears. His boat is on the sea. He's just going to carry on serial killing. Perhaps he's just
Maybe he was trapped on the bottom of the ocean,
maybe maybe he is
like
Poseidon.
Jason Voorhees, and he's just been waiting.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, yeah, but yeah. So when so there, yeah, there's a psycho guy who's kind of chasing them, and at one point in the middle of the night, Cassie, the daughter, gets up and he's like right behind her, and then Julia just leaps out of nowhere and stabs him, and stabs him, and stabs him, and just keeps on stabbing him until he is pulp. And
It's
I've known,
amazing.
I know some French mothers. This is an accurate depiction of what they would do. This is very, this is what would happen. Um,
Listen, there. If you would like, even there's no way to know where this movie's going, and I
no,
think that's why it's enjoyable. Because I'm gonna do a quick breakdown. There's a family of four, like you said. They're celebrating a birthday. The ocean goes gone. Meteors land. The one girl can't talk to her boyfriend anymore. She's all bummed. Gone. Ocean's gone. They're on a cliff. A dude comes up out of nowhere, kills the kills the
oh,
husband.
he has a dog. Do
Yeah.
the dog. Yeah.
The mom. Okay, so he kills the dad. Then an action scene happens between him and the mom. He gets shot with a flare gun, and then the mom Julia murders his dog.
Yes. So I did think, like,
Yeah.
oh, are we gonna like? Is he gonna John Wick them? Is this gonna be like a reverse John Wick, where John Wick's the bad guy? But I mean, yeah, it kind of is.
Dad and the dog are killed in the first 15 minutes, and then you have a chase film where the man with the spear is chasing Julia, Cassie, and Ben because Tom is dead.
And they're all injured. He's injured. Julia's injured. So it's very much he's just walking towards them. It follows. It's just
As it
this
follows,
creature walking at you, and you're walking away.
then they keep getting. They go through a toxic lake with
They go
barrels.
they go around the toxic. There's a lot of
Yeah, there's a
not very subtle environmental like mentions, but not really a lot is done with it because they have the toxic lake. They have just an area that's just this is where all the plastic bottles ended up. This is where all the plastic chairs ended up. There's some kind of filtering system when the ocean drained. Like bottles go here, toilets go here, chairs go over here. We're just going to sort things out whilst we're draining the ocean.
they set a trap, murder the guy, and then they build a chair fort out of plastic chairs. And then they're attacked by giant crabs.
This okay. The crabs, I love
Not
crabs.
giant crabs,
They're
big
just, they're
crabs.
just big crabs. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
so
bottom of the ocean crabs.
I got the email about this film. Thank you very much to Signature Entertainment. There'll be a review over at Blueprint Review at some point before the time this comes out. So the synopsis says, after tragedy befalls the family, Julia must save her children in a world where hungry creatures from the abyss hunt for fresh flesh. And I read that
What?
thinking, great, this is gonna what is this gonna be? And I think I saw some of the trailer. It didn't show the monsters, and I was like, what is this gonna be? And I gotta say, as much as I like crabs, it's a little disappointing that
Yeah.
the monsters hunting for fresh flesh from the abyss were crabs. I'm like, well, when they first appeared, I was like, oh, is this gonna be like the Chitari? This is like the first wave, and then we're gonna get bigger things, and eventually it's gonna be Pacific Rim up in here. But no, it's just more crabs. It's just crabs. It's just crabs.
Just crabs. And the only way to really die is to be trapped in a storage container with them with no way out. You can run from them.
I mean, they seemed pretty quick. They were running from them, but they were.
True.
I think the crabs were gaining, and so they took a rest on top of the shipping container. But yeah, the people
I'm
in
like,
the shipping container, I got real like the ATM robbers from Cruel vibe. Like, oh,
yeah,
here's some new characters we've been introduced to, so we can watch them die. Yep, and there they go. Great.
yep, they're dead. They're dead. And I love so the family comes along this big storage container ship. They see some dead animals. There's some good practical effects. They find this ship and they're like pushed away by the people who work at the storage container ship. But then the crabs come, and I love that these people lock themselves in a storage container
With a little hole in
with
it, just big enough for a crab to get
a
through.
crab size hole. Yeah, and then there's a sub waiting for them, and then the mom really can't go on, but then the guy was killed by crabs, so the three of them get in it, and then they survive, and then it ends like a lot like Under Paris.
Yeah,
But it's
yes, very, very much like Other Paris. With a, this is a different world now. What we are left with is everyone here has changed. Yeah,
that's why I love French creature features, because they it's like infested this year, and Under Paris there's not great endings. Like these, there's not a hopeful world for some of these people, but it's,
yeah.
I don't know. I love that, like this, you would never know where this movie's going, Jay. Like
Yeah.
I knew nothing about it. And you know what's funny? You're right. I thought they were going to be on their boat attacked by crabs or monsters
Okay.
or
Yeah.
something. Like, oh, okay, cool. It's like sea fever. But then the ocean disappears and you're like, tell me more. And
Tell
the
me
most
first. Tell me
unbelievable,
how, but
yeah,
tell me what.
the most
The,
unbelievable part though is when that lady eats an entire jar of marshmallow fluff.
sure. Well, I mean, she's a child. I mean, I used to, I'm sure we all ate terrible things when we were children. Uh,
I'd
never
scream for about 3 minutes after eating that, just from the pure sugar high.
just running around in a circle and into a wall, and then that's you done for the day.
Then I just lay there and sweat. And she keeps listening to her headphones.
She does. Yeah, that's the second time we've had that
Yeah,
in
that was twice.
recent films.
Yeah,
But yeah, but I did enjoy the dad's his like radio for help. The boat's called Orca. Fine.
yeah, yeah.
The Oscar Romeo Jolly Alpha. The ocean is gone. 4 passengers over. Like he just subtly drops in. Oh, the ocean's gone. The ocean is gone. That's our predicament. Yeah. Uh, this film. But yeah, I kept on. I was like engrossed watching this. I kept on forgetting to look at how deep and how blue it was at various. I had to keep going back. And wait, I've missed. I've been doing it for 10 minutes. I need to go back and do it again because I was just watching to see what was going to happen. Where is it going to go next?
You couldn't guess. There's a
guess.
toilet. There's this random toilets handing around. The kid just pees in them.
Yeah, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have made a point to pee in the toilet.
The sister is cold as ice, Jay, because so there's 4 people in the family. There's Ben and Cassie. They're the kids. Ben wants to get people's attention after the ocean disappears, so he sets up a bunch of balloons. And then he dances. Like there's a dancing thing because he's very proud of himself. Like, I contributed, I helped. Those balloons most likely attract Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
Or Harpoon Man. And the Harpoon Man kills Tom and stalks them. So later on in the movie, after everything horrible has happened, Cassie, his sister, goes, "Do you think the balloons attracted him?" And you're like, "Whoa, that's hot."
Yeah. And then she forgets to put the lid back on the water bottle, knowing that her brother is dehydrated, and then the water all drains. Was that intentional? Revenge for killing her dad? I don't know. Maybe. Seems pretty not very forward thinking because that's her water as well.
That's such a nasty thing, though. Like, do you think the balloons did it?
Yeah.
Like, there's some comments that are just not necessary, y'all.
But it is also a very like childhood sibling kind of thing. To like, hey, do you reckon brother killed dad? I reckon brother killed dad.
Oh man, that poor kid.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you reckon Aquatica would have survived this? I was trying to think like what other locations would have survived because like the water draining, the sea disappearing. I feel like Aquatica would survive because it's got the turrets. The things go down to the floor, the supports and everything. It's just going to hang out. Some of the floating walkways are probably going to crumble because there's nothing to float on. So I think Aquatica survives that. But then when the ocean rushes back, I don't know if Aquatica survives that. I think that's
I
probably
don't
not
know.
what it was designed for.
Yeah, it's Dunsky. I
Yeah,
mean, if Skarsgård's gurney can break the glass, then whatever that thing brings at, throws at it,
yeah, sure.
will wipe that stuff out.
I didn't. I was like, do I try and work out? Scoggins says how much the support struts can handle pressure-wise. Do I try and work out if the ocean rushing? But no, I'm just gonna say it would destroy it. There's no point to watch that to work that out. It's not gonna survive. Bye, Aquatica. Bye, Scoggins. Bye, everyone. Uh,
And I also love that this movie spends about 15 minutes explaining why, a French mom and her German husband ended up
yes.
in Miami. So
Yeah, that's the only point at which the film kind of gives you a little breather. Is they just hang
yeah,
out overnight, and the daughter's like, "Tell me again, parents of mother, how you met." That's a nice little family scene, but
yeah,
it's a nice little break. But yeah, I did. I don't really appreciate when. Well, this is clearly a French or a European family, but the boat has a big American flag on it. It's got big like stars and
yeah.
stripes on there. I was like, why? Why are you trying to like? Do you think
And it's
Americans will
their
only?
boat.
But will Americans only like root for this family if they have an American flag? Like, what is this for?
Yeah, that was a strange choice because that's how it opens up. I
Hmm.
wrote hard and loud score and American flag.
Yeah, and then later we do see the flag is now like tattered, but
Yeah.
also so is the rest of the boat. So it's not really giving us much.
There's a lot of great overhead shots of the whales and boat,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, there's some cool whales.
I also
Uh,
like how they establish how they're in the middle of nowhere and then it's not really important. I mean, I guess it is because then you can explain why the ocean's gone.
yeah, they
Sorry,
said,
I just got lost thinking about it. I see this is the first time I ever thought about this movie. And also, Jay, this movie features probably okay, so the harpoon man attacks the boat, kills the dad.
mhm.
He starts chasing the mom. During the chasing, he grabs a can of beans and he eats the can of beans while hunting
Yeah,
for the
just
mom.
cold, just stalking around this quite small boat, eating cold beans straight from the can. I mean, it's a pretty intense scene when the kids are hiding in those seats, and the mum's being like strangled by the guy on top of them,
Yeah.
and they just got to like watch and wait for the right moment to jump out with the flare gun. It's pretty brutal. And then actually, this the scene when like the storm happens is pretty gnarly as well because you've got the parents start bleeding out of from their noses and their ears, and Cassie just starts spewing vomit everywhere. But then with all the storm going on and all the quite choppy camera work there, it's a pretty intense sequence.
There's a lot of puke. I
Yeah,
did not expect it. I mean, I'm not saying that there's the amount of like triangle of sadness levels of
sure.
puke.
No, this isn't like Pitch Perfect.
Yeah. Oh
Level.
gosh.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah. So there's none of that. But she's just yakking on the boat. Ears are bleeding, noses are bleeding, puke is spewing.
yeah. It's, it's not the end of Kick Ass 2.
Oh goodness. But like I like I don't know. What's great about this family though? I don't think they make any mistakes.
I was
Like I
thinking the
know the
same
dad's
thing. Yeah,
like the dad's a little trusting, sure, but I mean, you're in such an unprecedented situation
sure. Yes, no one could prepare for this.
that you see a guy with a spear and a dog. Like I feel like if someone comes up with a dog that's reasonably well behaved, you're like, okay, this person's not evil.
Yeah,
Like it's just, and you're like, oh, okay, must train the dog, and then you're dead. I mean, I don't blame him on that. Like if you're living in Mad Max world and you let that happen, sure, it's on you. But
but prior to that, they've said when they're in the boat and they're just like chilling, and they're making a plan that okay, we got food for 4 days, we got water for a
yeah,
week and a half. They've got provisions, and they've spoken to the guy over the radio, and he's like 2 to 3 days hike away, and they reckon somehow they've got a week before the ocean's coming back. Don't know how they work that out. The sub guy's like, oh yeah, according to our records, they're just going to come back in a week. Like, what are you talking about? I'm going to buy it. We're going to move on. But what are you talking about? Uh,
well, they work for the Oceanographic Institute.
yeah,
Like it's
they definitely saw this coming. They would have, yeah. I mean, I guess what would they have done if you see this coming? No one's going to believe you. Get in a submersible, I guess, as your 2 stage plan.
yeah.
So yeah, if you've got plenty of water, you're going to help this guy coming towards you. You're not immediately going to think he's going to kill us. Maybe they should have because they already knew at that point that the submersible had only space for two more people, so we're just going to get the kids there. I don't know if they said they were like 5 miles from where the land used to be, so I don't know if they would, a better plan would have been head there, like head to Cuba, because
So where's land going?
this is what we can't put at this thread because they said the water is what they have a conversation. The conversation goes. Um, duh, duh, duh,
Cuba's gone.
uh, the kid Ben asks, "Where's the sea?" And his dad replies, "It seems it's where it shouldn't be," because this is also a Doctor Seuss film, apparently.
So
And
then the world's done.
it's like if the water is on the land, most land tends to be angled in a way that water would flow down into the sea. So if water is on the land, it would be gushing back down into the like along the beaches into the sea. So I know there are inland areas, there's lakes and things, granted, but I don't think the entire ocean. I've not done this research, but I don't think the entire ocean can fit within areas that are permanently above sea level. So I don't know. If they were, I would have loved to have done this trek to get to where Cuba would be, get to Cuba, and just get to a wall of water, just like nothing holding it back,
Just
just like a
waiting.
vertical wall of water just hanging out, and
Isn't that
then
like the abyss? Like
yeah,
this the wall
basically, and that's a
like if the wall of water from Deep Impact was just hanging out.
sure, yeah. So they just need to. It's just hanging out there waiting, and they know okay, so it's gonna you got like 3 days. So in like 2 days and 23 hours time, just like hide behind this wall, and the water's just gonna go this go, and then you'll be fine. Uh, yeah, it's
Imagine all that water, like you said, like it's angled down to send water to the ocean. So imagine if it just covers Earth and then this goes down. Like everyone's
yeah.
dead.
There's
Is
a reason
Denver
why the
safe?
uh, I mean that's got the mountains, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's a mile high city.
I mean it. I guess it depends
There's a
on
lot of water though, Jay.
it's an ocean fall, yeah. Uh, this is why we can't think about it. It just doesn't make sense. And this is why I can see some people not getting on board with
Yeah,
Survive
people are gonna hate it. People are gonna hate this movie, which
just
is a
because
bummer.
yeah, the logic
But
doesn't hold up.
but you know what though? It does in this world. So
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
just have to buy it. Yeah,
yeah, and I don't know. People watch Ghost Shark. People watch,
sure. Sharknado, you
yeah,
know.
but you know what? You know what the
Well, yeah,
problem with
that's
this
different.
movie though?
That's
Those are trying to be silly. This one's
yeah.
quite serious.
Yeah. What's? I mean, Under Paris is kind of silly.
Oh yeah. Well, that's tongue in cheek, right? Making fun of French authorities and
Also, Deep Blue
the
Sea.
River Seine. Yeah,
um,
that's another very silly movie.
uh, we've just talked about Legends of the Ancient Sword, a very silly film
Oh my goodness.
that we enjoyed greatly. Another film that just goes, it just goes, maybe goes at a more breakneck speed than this one does. There's no
Yeah, that one
like,
doesn't.
yeah,
There's no time. There's no time.
there's no time. Uh,
But
I don't,
I just
I
think
don't,
it's interesting. You have a good caliber of actor in this, though. Like well, Emile Dequenne. When we researched her name before we started this, I just want
Émilie
everyone to know.
Dequenne.
There it is. But yeah, she's been in some great movies. She's been up for like acting awards at Cannes for like Rosetta and Our Children. She's been up for okay. So Caesar Awards. She was nominated in 2000. She was which is like French Oscars. She was nominated in 2003. She was nominated in 2005. She was nominated in 2015. She was nominated in 2021. Like she is a legitimate actor. And I like she's acting her face off in it. And you know what I like too? I like that she's not like super mom in this. Like she's running around in her jeans. She looks kind of awkward, but like she's just straight up like I like it. I like that
Yeah,
she's never made out to be like the ultimate badass, I guess.
yeah, and like when we first see like, the film, she goes for a swim and doesn't tell anyone, and so she kind of gets almost stranded out in the water and they have to go out and save her. And then immediately the dad's like, "Don't ever do this. Every family, tell someone you're going swimming." So like she starts out by making a mistake, but this is just a regular family. You can see somebody doing that. Tom's teaching Ben how to fish. Cassie's got the headphones on. It all makes sense.
Headphones.
I don't. I think the title of the film is not great. Survive is pretty ambiguous for given how outlandish the premise is of the film. I don't
What
know
should
what I
you?
would.
What would? Oh, you don't. Well,
I
let's
don't
think of a
know.
title then.
Uh,
No
uh,
ocean,
yeah, Notion.
floored.
uh, because like survive, like so many. Every film could be called Survive.
Where's the water?
Yeah, yeah. The sea is where it
French
should
mom.
be. Uh,
Don't mess
hmm.
with French mothers. Journey to the submersible.
But
Twenty thousand leagues under the sea. Wait, 20,000 leagues below the sea, and there's no sea.
yeah.
Dry.
I mean, Drive
Not.
would be better. Uh,
I like where's the ocean
yeah,
with a
just called Where's the Ocean? Uh,
with a question mark.
dude, where's my ocean?
There it is, dude. What, bro? What is that? What, dude?
Dude, sweet,
Bro? Yes,
sweet,
sweet,
dude.
dude, sweet, dude, sweet,
Ah,
man.
dear.
But you know, it's just why not? Like, you know what? Someone sat there and like, okay, family of four, ocean disappears, plop them in the desert. They have 5 days till a wall of water whops them. Okay, good, good. What do we need? Well, that's kind of boring. We need something else. What about some crabs? Yeah, they're on the bottom of the
How
ocean. Makes
many?
sense. Yeah, how many? How many? Thousands, because that's what
All
there's
of them.
thousands of crabs on the bottom of the ocean. Oh, okay, yeah, crabs, crabs. Well, they aren't the best villains. Okay, what about a guy with a spear? Yeah,
Can he have
sure.
a dog? People like dogs.
Yep. Can we kill the dog early? Yes.
Fine.
Okay. Like I love problems on problems on problems. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
water's coming back. There's deadly crabs, and there's a guy with a blade trying to kill people. That's a lot of problems on problems on problems.
It is. I love the scene where she stabs him.
Yeah, she
Like she
murders
just
him.
keeps
Yo,
going.
he killed her husband. You light that dude up.
I say it feels like a release of its revenge, but it's protecting her kids. It's just releasing a whole load of tension. She's this is a very therapeutic stabbing, I think.
Okay, Jay, if you had to make a problem, okay, so the ocean's gone. That's one problem. The waves are coming back. That's two problems. There's a murderous guy. There's three problems. There's murderous crabs. That's four problems. And then parents can't fit on the submersible. That's five problems. So what
Okay.
would your five problem movie be?
I need to come up with five additional, like five. Okay.
You're making a movie and there's
God.
five problems.
Okay. Okay. I'm stranded back in time. So that's one problem. I've got to try and get back from back in time. Dinosaurs. So I'm back in time. Two problems. Um, the time machine is like sunk in a tar pit.
Yeah. It
Three.
just lands in a tar pit, like
It's just yeah. That's where it's not like in the cave in Back to the Future 3. It's in a tar pit, and I was like, well, I got to get this out of the tar pit that's surrounded by dinosaurs. The comet is coming to destroy everything. You got to have a time crunch on this.
yeah, there's no time. There's no time.
And I've got like a stone in my shoe I can't get out. Just like it's just really irritating. I can't get it out. That's my fifth.
Well,
It's
that's
a
the
small problem,
worst.
but it's there.
Well, I mean, that's still a problem.
Yeah, yeah. It's just irritating all the time. I'm just
Okay.
cranky because I've got a stone in my shoe.
All right, I got a good one.
Okay,
Water takes over, like floods all of America.
okay. The sea
I
is
get
where it shouldn't be.
swallowed. I get swallowed by Cthulhu. While trying to escape Cthulhu, I only have 35 minutes of oxygen. In Cthulhu, he's just swallowed a bunch of other things, and they're all trying to get out too. And there's some like weird monsters that live in its belly and like keep it clean.
Oh,
So
you've got
there's four.
like the cleaner rasses, but that live inside Cthulhu.
Yeah, and I'm trying to cut my way out.
I'm now just imagining the end of Sharknado where Finn cuts through the shark with a
It was a
chainsaw after he jumps
chainsaw.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
I,
You're
so I have no weapons, and then my fifth is, let's see, I can't swim.
yeah, problem. Now, is it like you can't or you've forgotten how? Like you were knocked on the head and you can't remember how to swim.
Yeah, I have short-term amnesia, so I have six problems.
Okay. You gotta get home,
Imagine
you just
being
don't know where it is.
like, where, and like, I don't even know if Cthulhu's deep in the ocean when I cut my way out.
Could be anywhere. That would be a seventh problem.
You know what? I would just want to annoy Cthulhu. Like, I would block some stuff up. Like, I would, if I was just roaming around inside Cthulhu, I would, like, he would have indigestion. Like, I
Yeah.
just cut up, like cut up some intestines. I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I don't want
No.
stuff spilling around.
Well, I mean, if you block up the intestine, it means you're not going through the intestine. But then you're stuck in the stomach, which is where all the acid is. So
That's
worse,
true. Wait, no, I'm
maybe.
stuck on. I'm stuck in Cthulhu's stomach on a boat that's slowly sinking due to the acid.
Okay. It's Dante's Peak scenario.
And I get it to work, and I'm just riding around. It's like stomach acid. Cthulhu's like, what? There it is, Jay.
There it is, Mark. There it is. Oh,
And then he keeps drinking water to like drown me. Come on, spiteful. Like, you're the one who swallowed me. There it is, Jay.
there it is. Yeah, that's start
I would
working.
call it guts.
Yeah, I don't know what would mine be called.
Mud. Tar.
No, that's already a film called Tar. It's a very different film. But
Trapped in time.
both films end with me conducting the soundtrack to Monster Hunter.
Yeah, there we go.
Spoiler for Tar.
Oh man, what a movie!
I
That
didn't
Tar.
like it. I don't know. I didn't gel with it. I don't know. It's
You know, it's one of those movies I like, but it didn't. I had zero emotional connection to it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
preferred
I
it.
can't deny the quality.
Yes, absolutely. And I preferred it to Maestro. We're talking.
Oof.
Yeah. uh,
Listen,
no,
I know
no
that
one
guy
abandoned Elmo in
planned.
the vestibule in Tar, so there is that.
I know that he worked a lot for that movie, but you watch it and you're like, who's this for?
It's for Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I told you that his Bernstein's kids were like, I didn't really learn anything about my dad about for this movie, but I learned a lot about Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I preferred him when he was like playing assholes in Wedding Crashers. I feel like that's
Yeah,
Bradley Cooper's sweet spot is playing the jerk.
Bro
Uh,
Cooper.
and he's like jerk adjacent in the Hangover films. He's like
Oh no, he's a jerk.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So how is Survive similar to Deep Blue Sea? Starts out with four people on a small boat. There's a Jaws reference because the boat's called Orca. There's a birthday party. There's an incoming storm. Communications are cut off. Flares are used with broken windows. Life jackets. There's a surprise death early on. I didn't see Tom being taken out. I guess once that scene starts, I was like, okay, here we go. But I didn't see him going that early. A boat is destroyed and blows up. Plane. There's a destroyed plane. It's already there when they destroy when they get to it, but it's there. A lighter is used. A character urinates. Actually, two characters urinate. Do you know how rare it is to see like women peeing in these kinds of films? And Cassie
Yeah,
goes
that
for a
was.
pee.
Yeah, she does.
It was unexpected. Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
There's a dead shark, and gunpowder is used outside of its intended use because they use it to seal up the mother's wound. And we've already touched a little bit on how deep and how blue it is. Listeners, if this is your first listen to this show, when I go through the film, I try to work out on average how deep and how blue and how much at sea the action taking place in Deep Blue Sea, in the film is. So, on average, Deep Blue Sea is about 14.5 meters deep, 31% blue, 89% at sea. Survive is a lot deeper than that, less blue than that, but less sea than that. So this, on
Wait,
average,
is it still C though? It's still C.
I didn't take it as C. This is where the inconsistency of my of my spreadsheet.
Inconsistency.
Yeah, the inconsistency. My favorite C. Uh, you can just walk across it. It's I took it as when the C disappears because the C is gone, so it can't be at C anymore because the C is gone. So it's 27% of this actually takes place at sea. Uh, Depth wise, we're looking at on average minus 1,481 meters deep, or 4,859 feet, which puts it deeper than the abyss, not quite as deep as the Meg. So it's sixth on our list. I haven't gone back and worked out how deep and blue the Meg 2 is, Meg to the Trench. And blueness, it is 16% blue, so it is bluer than Legend of the Ancient Sword, I just talked about it, less blue than Godzilla vs. Biollante. So that is 67th in our list of blueness of 114 films.
This movie's crazy.
Yes, I'm glad we watched it. It was a fun time.
Because it's good. Like the actors try, Jay. Like it's some of these movies we watch, they're just really cynical, bad products. Like I feel like in this one, everyone's acting their face off.
Yes.
Like
yes,
it's not a cynical cash grab. I don't think. I think this one is just fun.
And I'm sure that in some of the other films that we've talked about, the actors are doing their best, but they're doing it better here.
Yeah, I mean these are like Caesar Award-winning actors.
Yeah. It just makes you wonder, like, how many other films are there like this that we have no idea exist or are coming out? Because if I hadn't got this email, then we never would have heard, maybe never would have heard this film, never would have covered it. I don't know, but we have, and it's great. I'm so happy. We're just gonna keep making films like this, and we're just gonna keep watching them and keep covering them. It's gonna be great. So
Yeah, just listen. What's great about this is, and maybe it's partly because I watched the trailer, but I had no idea what was going to happen. Sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, yeah. But this one, I was like, whoa,
yeah,
what is happening? This is crazy.
We were going to be talking about No Way Up today, which we'll talk about soon. It's on Amazon. But I have an idea of where that's going to go. I haven't seen a trailer for it, but I know there's a plane at the bottom of the sea, sharks. There's going to be some irritating people who get eaten by sharks.
Exactly.
Some of them will probably survive. They will find a way up, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But I don't think I'm going to be as pumped to talk about it as I am this one. But we'll find out. It could be the best film ever. Every day is Christmas Eve. It could be great.
And one of the best things about this movie too is that there's really nothing out there yet. So I kill myself with research, and this one's not even out yet. So it's like there's no interviews, there's no reviews. So it's quite easy to talk about, Jay.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of fairly negative reviews on the likes of Letterboxd of people who didn't enjoy this film as much as we did. Like it's getting a 1 or a half star from a lot of people, and it just does so much more than this. Isn't a 1-star film.
No,
even if you can't get on board with the premise, this isn't a 1-star film.
I really think that people just can't get over the idea of it. Like they're like, that would never happen. But you know what though? Then you go watch some other stupid movie and you're like, yeah, like it makes sense.
So I can't get over the premise of Inside Out. It just doesn't work for me. But I can still appreciate that as being a very well made, good film. It's just the whole concept of an imaginary friend. Can't get past it. I don't know. But then I saw Inside Out 2 and thought it was great. Because Bing Bong's not in it.
But good. I don't want. I don't want Bing Bong in again.
No.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Yeah,
I mean, this cinematographer's been working nonstop in French cinema for 2 decades, 3 decades.
They should take
wait, since '87. So almost 4 decades.
That's the span of my life.
You know, it's funny. I just kept going down. I was like, oh wow, this guy can't go down further. But geez Louise. It's like
don't say almost 4 decades, Mark. That's how old I am, and I'm not almost 4 decades. I'm 37. That's not nearly 40.
Then what is it?
I don't know. It's not nearly 40. It's 37.
So 3.7 decades. What if you round up?
We don't talk about it, Mark.
40's great, man. I'm 42.
to quote, he's the cinematographer for Lahane.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
It's like it's a very good. It's it's going to be killed though by its plot. But
I
whatever.
love
I don't care.
cinematographer for one episode of ER.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
The one episode of ER set in Paris. This guy did the cinematography for it. Great.
I love this movie.
Me too. Great. Well, listeners, I think this has been requested to come out 2 weeks before the film actually comes out. So, this is going to be available digitally on the 30th of September, and I think our schedule has this coming out on the 18th of September. So, wait a couple of weeks and you can watch it. Hopefully, we didn't spoil it too much. We definitely did. We definitely did. But
there's no way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but you can still enjoy it a whole bunch. Like, even though our main reason for enjoying it is we know where it was going to go, and we just told you where it all goes, I still think you will enjoy watching this film. So look for it all over digital, wherever Signature will be releasing it. Any plugs, Mark?
Yeah, just I don't know, Movies, Films, and Flicks. Check out the podcast.
Yeah, Life versus Film for me. Follow us all over social media at Deep Blue Sea Pod. Email us deepblueseapod@gmail.com. Next week, Sharknado 2, the second one, is going to be next week with Heather Baxendale Walsh as the guest. She was a fantastic guest. Recorded that a little while ago.
The best.
And at this point, haven't recorded Sharknado 3, haven't watched Sharknado 3, but I am committed to at least watching it. Haven't committed to recording it yet. But I will at least watch. That's how we're doing this franchise. I will keep.
If you need someone, I'll join it.
I have potential guests for 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is how many there are. So I've got people lined up. I just don't know if I want to talk about it.
Got it.
That's where we are right now. So I'll watch 3, and then I'll see if I talk about it, and then I'll watch 4, etc. But I had Jeanette on for the first one, and she was like, "There's a book. There's a Sharknado book, How to Survive a Sharknado," and that book actually appears in the second one. And she said it was really good, so I bought it, and she lied to me. It's not a great thing. It's a really factually written how to survive a Sharknado and arachnoquake and all kinds of other things that exist. But it's not humorous. It's like a real.
Also, it's like the zombie survival guide,
but less informed than that. It's kind of this fine line between like less detailed but also not entertaining. I love the zombie survival guide. I've read it a bunch of times, so I'm kind of skimming through it and picking and choosing, and it's less good than I want it to be. So don't trust Jeanette Ward, I guess, is the lesson from that. No, that's
get out of here.
Jeanette's great. But yeah, that'll do it for Survive. Thank you for listening. I come back next week for Sharknado 2. But as for this week's show, I have been Jake Lewitt.
Mark Hoffmeyer.
And we'll Deep Blue see you next week.
We'll be on the lookout for Guts.
Yes, Guts coming to a cinema.
Where's the ocean?
In your mind. It's not where it should be.
No, wait, Dude, Where's My Ocean?
Dude, Where's My Ocean.